Yeah, so earlier this week, I went to visit Soul City Arts. They're an art organisation. They've been running for about 15 years in Birmingham, doing loads of great things. But they're based now in the middle of Sparkbrook, right? So next Monday at sunset, they are hosting an Iftar where guests will gather together to break their fast and eat together. But this is a little bit different what they're putting on. So anyone who goes for the Iftar is also in for an immersive art experience. There's loads going on as you're eating, as you're breaking your fast, and it's all happening in this big warehouse right bang in the middle of Sparkbrook. Now, I drive past this warehouse every single day on my way home.
Okay.
So to go in this week was really special for me. It's really atmospheric.
Yeah.
It's going to be a great event, something that's a first for Birmingham, and I went along to meet the group's founder.
My name is Mohammed Ali and I'm an artist. I'm also founder and artistic director of an arts organisation called Soul City Arts, and I'm here in our new base in a warehouse space in Sparkbrook, Birmingham.
Firstly, what is Iftar?
Iftar is the moment at sunset when we all gather to eat and open our fast at sunset. After you fasted during the daylight hours, that moment of unison eating on the dot together. But right here in this warehouse, we're kind of gathering people to sit in a kind of different space, because usually it's in the home or at the mosque. But here we're doing an iftar with a bit of a difference, where we're in a, as you described, a kind of dark, kind of atmospheric warehouse.
I mean, wow. And it's a huge space, but it is so atmospheric. We've got the smoke hanging in the air. It's dark. It's the sound of the rain dripping on the roof, and all around us. I mean, tell us what we're looking at.
So what you see here is an art installation. I call it the prayer mat tunnel. And what you see here is hundreds of people's prayers that we collected over a period of a few months.
The culmination here for people who are coming to the Iftar, what's going to be in what is now here, this empty glass case?
In this case will be displayed the famous Birmingham Quran, well, a reproduction of it, not quite the original, but a reproduction that we are borrowing from the University of Birmingham. And it's said to be, through carbon dating tests that were done a few years back, to be the oldest Quran in the world that exists right here in the city of Birmingham. So few people know about in the city. It's quite a tragedy that a manuscript as precious as this is not really known about in the city and beyond.
How important is it that this Iftar happens in a warehouse in the middle of Sparkbrook?
For me, bringing people together in a kind of polarised society where we, let's face it, we live quite separate to one another often, sitting in our own little bubbles, in our comfort zones. And me as an artist and running an arts organisation, I've been committed for many years now to using the arts to bring people together and take people out of their comfort zones.
Is it important then for somebody like me, for instance, a non-Muslim, someone who's never taken part in Ramadan or fasting, has never been to an iftar, is it important that somebody like me were to come to this event, to see it, to be part of it?
It's a great question, because the idea of coming together with people who aren't fasting, people who aren't Muslim, that's really just continuation of the spirit of Ramadan, which is invite people to come and enjoy food together and just spread good vibes and hospitality and generosity with perhaps people you don't get to eat enough with.
Tell me a bit about the food, about the menu for that night.
So this is certainly a first for me. There are some challenges, because normally at a dining event you can kind of take your time and deliver the food over a period of time, and it's quite relaxed. But here everybody has to eat at the same time, so you have to have food served to 100 people exactly at like 7:46, I think it is, exactly. So there are challenges. This is not your typical kind of dining event. We have dug deep to try to pull out some real home favourites, if you like, mother's recipes, you know.
You were talking about, the iftars that you had growing up at your mum's house in Birmingham. You want to get that sort of feeling for people too, don't you, in the community?
Somehow, in our front room, we would cram 30 people into our room, all sitting on the floor together, and my mum would cook this amazing food, and people would talk about it. You know, sadly, my mum's not with us anymore. She passed during COVID. So in a way, this for me is an extension of what my mum taught me, which was being hospitable, treating the guests brilliantly, and making sure that they go away feeling like, you know, they've ate like kings and queens, you know, full-on banquet.
So that's you, Leona, with someone who has such a great name, Mohammed Ali, the founder of Soul City Arts, before next week's event. And if you want to find out more as well, or go along yourself, then it's soulcityarts.com.